ladies don't want to get dirty. It's not rice.
No, it's not rice. Sawa, twende PP2.
The weather is sunny.
Yes. Welcome to another episode of Africa Farming. My name as always is Samuel. This is another episode of the road trip, and today we are joined by a beautiful lady. She'll introduce herself and tell us what her hustle is and what her interest is basically in matters farming or agribusiness. So karibu sana.
Asante.
Ushai watch any episode ya the road trip?
Yes, niliwatch. Nimewatch ya Nasha, nikawatch ya Fali. Yes, na hizo zingine.
So kuna mwingine alikuwa anaitwa Catherine nani?
Nani.
Yep. So at least now you've formed, this will be like episode 6 of the road trip. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Tuambie unaitwa nani?
Kwa majina naitwa Karin Leipa. Yeah, and what I do, I do marketing, land, property, real estate, all that. Office yetu iko hapo EPZ Plaza. So if you have any of those,
EPZ Plaza, where is
EPZ Plaza hapa, just opposite EPZ zone.
Say in Kitengela. Yeah.
Yes, in Kitengela. So tuko hapo, located hapo. So you want to sell land, you want to buy property, you can pitia hapo. Also I sell clothes in Instagram. My pages kuna the dressing code, and also I sell spice jars. Pia kuna page, I think zitaekwa tu hapo kwa bio. Yeah,
so you can follow her on those links that have been provided. At least support hiyo ni hustle yake. Then of course the main hustle ni kuuza properties and all that. So journey with us as we journey to the farm and do one or two things. Of course we'll pass by Kajiado town, a place called Chomaboma. I've already told you about Chomaboma before. At least we'll show you, have some tumbukiza meat and some supu. Si unapenda hizo? Bas. Tutaonyesha hizo vitu zote tukiendelea. So journey with us, and if you've not followed us on our social media handles at Africa Farming KE on X, TikTok and Instagram. Kindly, our target of course is to get to 10K in the next like 3-4 months. So if you've not followed us on those accounts, please kindly go there. On Facebook we are Africa Farming. Of course on YouTube, just subscribe, Africa Farming, whatever it is that you're watching this video from. So tuanze? Aya, tukianzanga, tuambie interest yako. Do you have any interest in farming, like agriculture, agribusiness? Do you have any interest?
Yes.
Bye Kilai.
Yes, niko nayo. Of late sasa ndo nataka kuanza kuipractice. Follow up nione vile itanipeleka.
So interest yako iko kwa what specifically?
Kwa like
if you are to start farming, what would be your interest basically? Because farming is wide.
Yeah, iko wide.
Yeah, kuna mixed farming, kuna livestock farming, kuna crop farming. Na pia kwa crop farming na livestock farming na mixed farming kuna specifically vitu specific zenye mtu angeanza nayo. Sasa ungeanza na gani?
So I think naweza anza na ile tu ya kwa nyumba, ile tu the small farming ya vegetables.
Yes,
za nyumba tu, the small garden. So that uniweke spinach, sukuma, dania, hizo onions, hivyo. To
complement what you get at ile for subsistence use basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and also sasa baadaye maybe ndo nianze kuconsider kutoka pig farming.
You love pigs.
Yeah, naweza taka kutry pig farming. Yeah.
What do you like about pigs?
Say pork. Your pork too.
Most people say pigs are the dirtiest animals. Do you agree?
What?
Do you know pigs are the cleanest animals?
Cleanest.
Contrary to that, like utapata a pig imelala penye imesusu ama like where they poop or where they do their waste, you'll never find a pig sleeping there. They always reserve a very clean spot for their section where they'll sleep and then they'll use the other section for their waste and all that.
So it's what also wanakula.
Wanakula nini? What do they eat?
Like the dirty things. Yeah, like mabaki yani.
Yes.
But anyway,
but it's something that you'd love to do, eh?
Yeah.
That is nice. That is very nice.
Yeah.
Now, ngoja tuingie hapa kwa hii joto ishaanza. This is Kajiado, man. It rained last night.
But hakuna difference.
But hakuna difference. So you've said you love pig farming. Of course, there is goat farming and all that. Pig farming, by the way, the waste from pig farming forms very, very good manure. I don't know if you've ever known that. So if you're to do pig farming, what would you do specifically pig farming, or you'll mix it with something else?
I think ikiwa just pig farming alone. Yeah.
Now, what is the perception that people have about ladies and farming, especially wanaitwa Gen Zs? Are you a Gen Z or a millennial?
Millennial.
You're a millennial,
Yeah,
eh?
yeah.
So what perception do people have about millennials even and Gen Z? Some millennials and also some Gen Zs. What perception do people have about them and farming and agriculture?
I think the perception that has been there and still is, ladies don't want to get dirty, or they don't do farm work, they don't do any such work.
Yes.
Or they just make their nails, you know, kuslay and all that.
Yeah.
But I think it's time, like right now, someone to start considering doing such work.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's actually profitable. You end up managing it the way you like.
Yeah, you don't have to make your nails dirty.
Yeah, haina many rules.
Yeah.
As any other work.
And then it doesn't mean because you're doing farming, you're the one who has to go and dig. And as long as you have the idea and you have the skill, you can employ somebody to do the hard work for you.
Jobs also.
Yes, exactly. That is good. That is good. So Gen Zs and millennials, wherever it is that you are, your perception that people have had initially that we don't like working, you work smart. Remember, even agribusiness is working smart. Agriculture ndio ilikuwa ile work hard. Ile unakumbuka kwa episode, if you watched Fali's episode, we discussed the difference between agriculture and agribusiness. So agriculture ndio ilikuwa ile ngumu. It used to be very hard to do agriculture because now it was all about your energy and manual stuff, and all that. But now with the advent of technology, things are actually far much easier. And in fact, these days you find people even controlling, even if it's water distribution, they've adopted technology that has sensors. So even if you're in your office where you're working, you can regulate. You can say you can allow water into your farm, or you can decide to regulate that. So are you ready for some questions, farming questions?
Yes.
Okay, so in your whole life, what kind of farming have you done? Like even you yourself too? And you shy try.
Just imagine spinach farming.
Oh, you've done spinach farming? So you know how to panda spinach and all that?
That the plants are home. Just around home,
okay. What is the English name of sukuma wiki?
Kales.
Watu wanajua hizi vitu. Now, in farming, whenever you do when you plow your land, there is that process that you make your soil softer and finer. Ukilima mara ya kwanza, when you plow the first time, there are those boulders, so there is also that process of breaking down the boulders into fine soil. What is that process called?
With the tractor,
with the tractor, with whatever. What is that process called? Whether you use a tractor or even you do it manually with a djembe.
Is it plowing?
No, plowing is the first. Now whatever it is, like you get, so but there's that process now of breaking down the boulders, the big boulders, because now you can't plant that way. You have to break down the big boulders into fine small ones. What is that process called?
Boulder breaking.
Boulder breaking.
I think I don't have the idea.
It's called, if you watched, I think, Fali's episode, we should have, I think we discussed that. It's called harrowing.
Harrowing.
Yeah. Harrowing, ile kurudia sasa shamba. So the initial plowing has been done. So you have to again go back before you now plant the seeds. Because if you plant like that, the seeds might not germinate.
Process.
Yeah, before you plant.
Before planting.
Yes. It's called harrowing. Yeah. So most people are afraid of starting farming because of some of the challenges that farmers face. What do you foresee as a challenge for you if you heavily invest in farming? Like if you decide today to heavily invest in farming, what challenges? Because there is somebody out here, a young person who's not yet ventured, but they have those fears that, you know, when they do farming, they'll experience A, B, C, and D. So in your own opinion, what challenges do you foresee that you'll get if you heavily invest in farming, and what do you think could be a solution to some of those challenges?
Okay, so some challenges. Okay, maybe one, weather, the climate.
Yes, true.
We are not so sure how it's going. Today it's raining, kesho it's sunny.
Yes.
The other day it's overheating. So bado hatujakuwa na hiyo balance ya the climate how it is.
Yeah.
So it would be hard for someone to really like estimate sahi when I plant this zitakuwa ready by this time, you see.
True.
So hiyo inaweza kuwa challenge one.
Like even right now, yesterday it rained.
Yeah,
it was cold yesterday, and then
today
today
it's overheating.
wow, we are sweating. Yes.
So the weather,
it's not consistent.
It's not consistent. So the solution to that is planting more trees.
Yes.
When your time, sasa when the rain itakuwa, we make sure we plant
a lot of trees.
Yeah.
Yes.
So at least we regulate the climate.
And that is why we are planting trees in Kajiado as we go.
Yeah, the farm.
Yes. So that at least we can change the eco-climate. It's called the eco-climate or some microclimate. Yeah, your area.
Yeah.
What is the other challenge that you think?
The other challenge,
you foresee?
well, I wouldn't say.
For me, a challenge was sometimes, again, due to the climate change and all that, you invest a lot of money and time and effort, and then you don't end up seeing the results. Maybe your crops die, or if you had animals, they also die. You know, like
animals eat the plants.
Exactly. So you don't get to benefit or reap the benefits that whatever it is that you planned for or budgeted for, you don't get that fully. So that is also a challenge that personally I foresaw. But the good thing about it is when you experience farming itself practically, you learn and you know the measures you take to mitigate some of these things. Yeah. So can we go to the 5 challenge questions? You know the 5 challenge questions that we normally have in this episode? Let me explain. It's not really about the money. It's not really about the money. It's not really about the money.
What's really not about the money?
The 5 challenge question. What happens is we ask you 5 questions, very simple questions to do with farming. Then each question, each correct answer for each of these questions, we give you 100 bob. So it's not about the money, it's just, the 100 bob is just like, what is it called? I don't even know how, like your soda, you know, like for you to get a soda or something. I'm a credit or something, it's not really about that. But the bottom line is to ask you those simple questions and see how you understand farming from a basic point of view. And also, if you get all 5 questions correctly, because each question is 100 bob or $1 for those who are using exchange rate. I'm using the exchange rate of 1 is to 100. $1 is to 100 bob, Kenya shillings. So we give you 100 bob. If you get all the 5 questions, we double that and give you 1,000. Sawa? So now on to our first question on the 5 challenges question. Remember, the 5 challenge questions has been brought to you courtesy of Sador Properties. Sador Properties basically is a property company that sells land around this area of Kajiado and Malindi. So if you have if you are interested in land, they help you do your due diligence. Basically matters property consultancy. They'll help you from stage 1 to the last stage. Their numbers are on the screen and also in the description section. So if you want to contact them, because most people have been asking how I got the land, you can always call the numbers on your screen. So the 5 challenge questions is brought to you by Sador Properties. Now on to the first question. Apart from tea, you know tea, which is the other big export that Kenya produces as a country and exports to other countries, apart from tea? I'm sure you know this answer. I am 100% sure you know. Yeah.
Rice.
Rice.
See rice? See rice? It's not rice.
No, it's not rice.
Wait.
Apart from tea. Yes. Guys, if you know the answer, kindly able to ambia kwa comments. Just let us know through the comments. Apart from tea, which is the other biggest export that Kenya does produce here in this country and exports to other countries.
Coffee?
No, not coffee. Coffee used to be, but now with the drop in prices, most people decided to venture into real estate, especially central Kenya. So coffee is no longer the biggest export from Kenya.
I can't remember.
Should I give you a tip? It is even here where we are. That company is here where we are. There is a company that even has a bus that I'm sure you've seen even in Kitengela, right? It's called Masai something.
You know, Masai.
You've seen that bus? Yes, Masai what?
It's Masai flowers and something.
Yeah,
Masai flowers.
Yeah, so flowers. Which industry is that?
Floriculture.
Floriculture, yes, but under which industry? Big industry.
As in?
Floriculture is under what industry? Like under what name? It's called horticulture.
Oh, horticulture.
Yes, so it's that plus other things. Flowers plus other things. So the first question, umepata. Oh, I'm supposed to give you money. Nilisahau kupatia producer. Oh, I've not introduced my producer huku nyuma. Joto inamtandika, acha nimpatie pesa yenye atakuwa anapeana hapo. So before we go to the second question, we are in an arid, of course you're a native, you're a Maasai. You're a native of this land, or this area. So given a chance between buying land in Kajiado and buying land in an area that receives consistent amount of rainfall, what would you choose?
That place in Ikona rainfall.
You choose the place that has consistent amount of rainfall. Why?
Because because the produce itakuwa mingi, and also it will take much time.
Yeah.
So you'd make, okay, if I say money wise, you'd make more profitable, like place a lot of rainfall within a very short of time compared to an arid place.
Now I have somebody who thought that way. Then they went and bought land in an area that receives or is perceived as receiving consistent amount of rainfall year in, year out. But then, shock on them, the rainfall patterns have changed. So right now there is nothing like ati mvua inanyesha school. You know, kitambo when we were kids, we used to get some consistent patterns.
Yeah, that's how you used to know.
Yes.
This month
kutakuwa na mvua. But things have changed. So those areas that were perceived as getting rainfall, these days it's not the same, it's not consistent. So what they were trying to avoid was to dig boreholes because they wanted to depend on rain-fed agriculture. But they had again now to drill boreholes. But now the disadvantage now is that they bought land far away from Nairobi and they work in Nairobi. So it means most of the times they'll do telephone farming. You've heard of telephone farmers? Unagongwa tu huko. But because your telephone, you cannot. So that's why I always tell people, you can come buy land in Kajiado even if it's a semi-arid place, because right now throughout Kenya there is no area that receives consistent amount of rainfall. And one thing about Kajiado is that it's fertile. The soil is very fertile. You can literally plant anything. You can do farming, like literally whatever it is that you're thinking, whether it's fruits, whether it's vegetables, whatever it is that you're thinking, Kajiado's soil is actually very fertile for that. So as long as you dig your borehole, which I'm sure you'll also do if you go to that area that you perceive as, you know, receiving enough amount of rainfall. So I always advise people, for me, Kajiado is good because it's close to Nairobi. So where my hustle is, so I can easily, instead of doing telephone farming, like right now we are going to the farm, doesn't take even 1.5 hours, we'll already be there. But now if you buy land uko mbali, but then you'll have to engage in telephone farming. Very expensive if you decide to go, very expensive on calls. So the net effect is that you'll spend more money on that land that is far than land that is closer to you, considering if you dug a borehole. Yeah. Anywho, we digress. Second question, second challenge question. Twende standardi, nichagulie class.
PP2.
PP2. Sawa, twende PP2.
The weather is sunny.
Yes. Let's go to PP2, eh? So the second question, what is the cross between a horse and a donkey called?
Yeah.
If you cross, if today a donkey meets a horse meets a donkey, the child that will be born, or rather the kid, whichever that will be born, what is the name? What is the name given to that animal that will be born out of crossing a horse and a donkey? PP2.
Inaanza na F.
Lakini sema tu your F. What is that F?
Haiko ina.
No, it doesn't start with an F. It's, I can give you a tip. It starts with an M. M. Yeah, M.
Horse and a donkey.
Horse and a donkey. Horse and a donkey. Very simple questions. So moja iko hapa.
Horse and a donkey. Moana.
Ati Moana.
Moana.
You said what? Moana. Ati Moana.
Mule.
Yes, it is a mule. It is a mule. Umepata. Leo naona ukichukua zao. Okay. Third question. Today naona tutabaki kwa ma animals. A donkey, I mean a camel that has a hump is called a dash. It has a hump or something. And the one that does not have a hump is called a dash. Camels. You know camels, they are those that have the hump on their backs. And then there is one that is flat, that does not have a hump. So the one that has a hump, give me one name for those camels that have like a hump. Is it one or two? Whichever. Give me a name. Do camels have two humps? There are camels that have two. So there are what types of camels that have the humps? There's a type of camel that has, I think it's one or two humps.
Oh, enye kona two.
Inaitwa?
Like specific name?
Yeah, what type of camel?
I don't know. Yes, I don't.
You're sure? Nikupatie tip. Inaanza na D. D for dog. Hiyo huwezi hata kukumbuka. Haya basi. Wacha ni substitute the question. Let me substitute the question with a camel that does not have a hump. Zinaitwa nini?
Imagine even that one. Najua tu kuna camel and that's it.
Okay.
So
the one that does not have a hump is called llama. You've heard of llama?
Oh, llama.
Yeah.
Llama camels.
Haina. Alafu saa siko sure kama ni yenye iko na, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's the one that has one hump or two humps that is called dromedary.
What?
One is dromedary. It is a primary school question.
Drome what?
Dromedary. Would you keep camels if you were to do farming?
Hey. I don't know unless I research what's like maybe it consists of. Then I'd consider maybe.
Okay. Sawa. On to the fourth question. You've watched our videos. Are you a fan of our videos?
Yes.
So you've watched most of our videos, eh? So when I mention this term, you should be able to know because we covered it in one of the episodes, especially it was a farm tour, right? So but before the question, what is your perception of technology? What is your perception of the role that technology plays, especially in marketing farm produce? Like you see, these days you find that we have We have Twiga farms. You've heard of Twiga?
Yeah.
And we have online media that basically
Yeah.
just markets produce and all that. So you can be able to get fresh farm produce, whatever it is that you are. But of course at a cost.
Yeah.
So what is your perception of the balance between the high cost of vegetables or fresh farm produce vis-a-vis the technology that has come to help you get that fresh farm produce? Yeah.
I think. What do I think?
Like given a chance, would you advocate for the use of technology for you to just be at the comfort of your house to get fresh farm produce, even if it's at a cost? Or would you just let it be? If you want fresh farm produce,
Just go direct.
you go direct to the farm.
I think just as you said, somehow there needs to be a balance. But well, technology is still good.
Yeah.
Because wherever you are, you can still reach these things, the produce and all that.
Yes.
And also going to the farm, well, it's still good because you get to, okay, so okay, when you reach the farm, you have like variety, so you're able to like pick what you're comfortable with.
Yes.
But through technology,
and even
like,
you're able to choose what you want.
Yeah. But still, through technology, there are people who are able to do that for you.
Yeah.
So at least I think there needs to be a 50-50 balance. It will depend on someone. But for me, I'd go direct to the farm.
You prefer going to the farm directly?
Yeah, I think it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Compared. It will be cheaper and yeah.
And of course, there are those challenges that technology will not be able to cover.
Yeah.
For example, there are people who prefer organic tomatoes.
Yes.
And yet, whatever is sold on maybe via these platforms, you might not be able to know the process through which these products or the fresh farm produce went through. If you prefer organic, you might not know. Yeah, there are people who don't like, for example, greenhouse products, and others prefer. So you will not be able to know, especially that one that is delivered at your doorstep. So you will have to choose. If you like organic, you have to go to the farm and see if this farm really practices organic farming. But there are people who are actually skilled at knowing. If you just give them a tomato like this, they'll tell you this one is organic and this one is not. There are people who are just professionals at doing that. Anyway, on to our fourth question. When we talk of invasive, a plant is invasive, what do we mean by that?
A plant is
invasive. And give me one example of a plant that is invasive. We've done this on a farm tour that we did. So if you've watched our videos, you should be able to answer that very, very... In fact, you shouldn't even spend time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, according to my definition.
Yes.
A plant that is invasive.
Invasive, yeah.
I'd say this is something that has not grown naturally, and it has chemicals have been used to actually make it like grow. Yeah.
Okay.
Come here. That makes sense.
It makes sense sababu uko right, so it makes sense.
Wow. Because okay, I think I don't know.
Invasive. Ushaipanda kitu moja, alafu have you ever planted one thing, like a stem, and then after 1 year you find that there are like 10 stems? Yeah. You've seen napier grass.
Yeah.
So the best example is bamboo. You remember there was a farm tour that we did on bamboo farming. So bamboo trees are invasive. So you plant one, but in 1 year you find a whole bush of bamboo trees from just that one. So that is called invasiveness. So bamboo trees are very invasive. Yeah, you will find even other plants like napier grass, sugarcane. You'll find they're invasive. Yeah. So that is the meaning of invasive.
So it only happens in the stem too.
Most of the invasive plants are those that are stem plants. those ones. They are very, very invasive.
Okay.
Right? Anyway, so the fifth question, I think I'll give you the grade 4 question, right?
Yeah, playgroup.
Playgroup, okay, yeah, playgroup question. What is chlorophyll?
Chlorophyll.
Yes.
Chlorophyll.
Yeah.
Sasa inataka kuchanganya na
Kuja hapa karibu.
Chlorine ni dawa.
Uonekani yako soka. What is chlorophyll?
It's the green matter in plants.
Hey! Makofi! Yes, yes. You're very, very right.
Good.
It is that green matter in plants that helps them do also photosynthesis. Oh, that is good. So guys, we've done the 5-question challenge. How did you find the 5-question challenge?
Well, haikuwa mbaya.
Haikuwa mbaya? But what made you not get the 5 questions?
I think I don't know, ni ile tu like I need sometimes to jikumbusha mambo ya farming.
Yes.
So I'll stick to your YouTube.
Oh, nice.
When I go through.
Ambia watu wa subscribe na watatupata aje.
Subscribe. Make sure you follow those the tours,
farm tours,
the road trips.
Yes.
You see they're fun. So if you also want,
you
can reach him.
Yeah, by the way, if you want to participate in a road trip episode, our numbers are always on the description section. You can always call us, or you can link with us on our social media handles, and we'll be able to pick you up wherever it is that, of course, you'll come to Kitengela. Then we'll pick you up and then come. Then if you probably would want a road trip episode in a different farm. Let's say we are going to shoot farm tour and maybe you're interested to see what people are doing. You can always liaise with us. We tell you when we're going for a farm tour, then we pick you. We go and see what is actually there, and we'll be able to do this road trip episode. So it's not really a complicated thing.
You can tag your friends.
Yeah. So before we finish, Abu advise the young, and remember, Africa farming is for new generation farmers and new entrants in farming who are willing to learn new farming practices. So give them a piece of advice basically on matters farming and agriculture. What would you tell them?
So the advice I'd give people out there, youths out there, women out there, ladies out there, like right now, okay, so also you can't advise everyone to do farming, do this, do that. No, I think it actually depends on what passion you have.
Yes.
Usually unasikia huyu akona mkono ya ukulima, so unaona akifanya farming actually things zinakuwa great. If someone wants to do farming,
these guys have put a roadblock.
If someone wants to do farming, you go ahead. Usikwe na that mindset na ikifail, what if? No. If you want to go into something, go fully minded that everything will work. Do research, and also because of this climate, there is always a solution to everything. So and plant more trees. Talk to me, I don't know, nunua mti. Yes, plant a tree. And everything will work out eventually. Trust the process.
Trust the process, eh? Yeah. So you've heard from Karin herself. If you want to link up with her on Matters Business, I think the links are here on IG. You'll actually find her there. On whatever angle, whether it's properties and all that, you can always reach her out, and she'll be able to guide. Thanks a lot, Karin, for joining us in this episode.
Thank you for inviting me.
Na naona uko na pesa mingi, sasa utaenda utunulie lunch. So we are heading to Chomaboma, at least to have, when you come to Kajiado, the staple meal here is meat. So so we are going to do some tumbukiza. For those who don't know tumbukiza, you'll see. We're going to do some bit of tumbukiza, and then from there we go to the farm, and then Karin will be able to plant her trees, as well as do 1 or 2 things that we'll show in this particular clip. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you will join us in the next episodes that we'll be shooting. And until next time, changamka na ukulima. Bye bye.